Yeah, so welcome, folks. We've had a few more people join. So we're chatting about when was the last time you held open a door for someone? That's our chat prompt for our opening plenary today. And by the way, I'm Allison Mills. I'm our communications director here at the Earth Science Information Partners. We've got some of our other staff, our plenary speaker, and a couple of our board members, if a couple of you want to introduce yourselves too.
I'll say hi. I'm Rebecca Heiss, and I am your plenary speaker today. So I will keep my remarks short for now because you have to listen to me for the next hour. I'm really, really excited to be with you all today.
Well, we've been talking about literal doors, a metaphorical door. I mentioned I have a new job, and that wouldn't have happened if the people that I've been collaborating with for the past 15 plus years hadn't opened that door to the conversation. It's like there was a small opening. I was able to kind of start getting in, and they could have slammed it in my face, but they very graciously fully opened that door. And in fact, I think opened several other doors past that to get me started. So yeah, that was very exciting for me.
I love the comment here about professors holding doors open. That's so important. Coming from a background of academia, I know that is huge, and it doesn't always happen. So it's great to see, professors opening doors and keeping them open. I'm sorry, I don't know. I can't see your name. It just disappeared on me. Yeah, but I love that comment. So
I like the comment about the Midwest. It's so true that in different regions and different cultures, like some places it's more natural and then it's contagious, right? Like if someone holds it for you, then you're looking back and holding the door for the next one behind you. Where in other places where maybe everybody's just in a hurry, I don't know. But yeah, I grew up, I'd like to say in the Midwest, in Buffalo, New York. And yeah, it was definitely part of the culture.
Yeah, I live in the Midwest, and there's like a 30-second window. Like you have to like slow down or speed up if you do or don't want to hold open the door for somebody. Because once you make eye contact, you have to hold open the door. Looks like we have more people coming in, so welcome. We'll be getting rolling in just a moment. And if you're just now joining us, we are getting ready for our opening plenary here at the ESIP meeting, and we've been sharing in chat when was the last time someone held open a door for you, literal or metaphorical. It looks like we've got just a handful of more people coming in, and then I am going to be passing it over to Ken, right?
Right. I think we will go ahead and get started. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the ESIP January 2023 meeting. I'm Ken Casey, I'm ESIP's president, and on behalf of the entire ESIP team, let me just say we are so excited to have you with us for the next 4 days of engaging and interactive sessions. Now, whether they're in person or virtual, like this week, my favorite part of ESIP is really just that. It's an opportunity to engage and interact with so many incredible people from across our community. So I really hope each and every one of you sees that opportunity. Yes, you can sit back and just listen, but I really think ESIP is at its best when you speak up. Ask the obvious questions, ask the dumb questions too, play devil's advocate, reflect, rephrase, ponder, probe, and ask yet more questions. So share your opinions and your insights and your knowledge and your experience. And we really need you present and right here in the arena. This is a great time to turn on that email autoresponder, block your calendars, put a note on your office door, whether it's physical or virtual. It says, out to ESIP, right? I'm busy with ESIP right now. So I really hope you all have a fantastic week and that you walk away from this gathering energized and really ready to tackle all of the challenges that lie ahead. So with that, let me hand the mic over to Susan Shingledecker, our ESIP Executive Director, and she'll get the ball rolling with our land acknowledgement and opening remarks on the meeting theme of opening doors to open science. So welcome, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ken. It is so great to be with you all. Thank you for making ESIP a priority this week. I have never been so happy to get as many out of office replies as I was yesterday and this morning. And it's just really, it's an honor that you would give us your full attention here this week. So thank you for that. It's important to me to center our work before we begin. As we start our meeting today, I want to honor, identify, and recognize those Indigenous people, Native Americans, and others who have stewarded our planet, the land, and the water long before our arrival. In many cases, they were removed from their land by forces of colonization and white supremacy to make room for the surroundings we see today. At an in-person meeting, I enjoy learning about the history of the places where we gather. In virtual meetings, I'd like to try something new, to create a shared representation that illustrates the broad range of locations here and our different and shared histories. So please share with us where you are located and the names of the tribes and Indigenous communities found in your area today or in the past in the chat. If you do not know this information, I invite you to research it via the link shared or other resources. Please also share a cultural or natural resource that you understand was or is important to those tribes, so that we can think about the ways different groups have valued our world in our work today. At the end of the meeting, we will work to share a composite view as a form of acknowledgement, representing all who are gathered here. Thank you. It is important to me that we have respect for where we have come from, as well as where we are today and where we are headed together. In that spirit, I want to share and highlight ESIP's community participation guidelines. Be respectful, direct but professional, and inclusive. Understand different perspectives, appreciate and accommodate our similarities and differences, and lead by example. I highlight these for everyone, but especially, that was on Do Not Disturb. Excuse me. I highlight these for everyone, but especially for the over 75 first-time attendees at our meeting with us this week. As a community, we work to live into these guidelines every day in our work together. At any time in your work with ESIP, and especially here this week, if you feel someone has not followed the expected behaviors, or if you experience unacceptable behavior, or have any concerns or questions, I ask you to please let us know. We have a third-party reporting system online, or you can contact me, any ESIP staff member, or any of our board members. How we treat each other is an essential part of the culture as a community, and it is key to our theme for this year, opening doors to open science. With 2023 as the year of open science, how can we as a community open doors to others as we embark on the systemic changes needed to realize this transformation to open science? Doors represent a transition point when we move from one space to another. I really enjoyed some of our great opening reflections about doors as we were kicking things off. Feel free to keep that going in the chat with me now and throughout the week. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a time when you approached a door, perhaps not sure what was on the other side. How did that feel? Picture a time when maybe your arms were full and you had a hard time grabbing the door handle without dropping all that you were carrying. Picture a time when you found the door was locked and you had to go searching for another way inside. I think we have all faced closed and even locked doors at times in our lives, our work, and our careers. Now picture a time when someone opened a door for you. Maybe some of those earlier reflections brought back a good memory. But really think about that experience. Did they just kind of tip the door open almost as an afterthought as they walked through? Or did they hold it open and greet you as you walked in? How we hold a door for someone can really be the start of something. It can create a feeling of welcome and it can set the tone for what comes next. So as a community, it is my challenge to you, ESIP, to not just participate in the year of open science, but to open the door to someone else as well. The core foundations of open science are not new to the ESIP community. I feel quite confident in saying that you are some of its earliest adopters, with fair data principles long at the heart of ESIP. But as they say, if it were easy, it would be done by now. Change is hard. Culture change is especially hard. While we will discuss many technical challenges and changes this week, many of the changes that are required to successfully move to open science are indeed culture changes. Thinking about culture change has me reflecting on times in my life when I have experienced different cultures. So I'm going to ask you to indulge me while I share a personal story of culture change and take us on a bit of a journey. So some of you know in undergrad, I chose to study abroad in Botswana in the fall of 1995, where I learned to conduct wildlife research and focused on tourism and its impacts to protected areas and communities in the Okavango Delta. I spent a month in Gaborone, the capital, learning Setswana, one of Botswana's native languages, a month up north in the national parks, learning to conduct wildlife research, and the final month was spent living in a tent on the outskirts of a remote village working on an independent research project. Life was very different, and I spent those 3 months learning to work in very different ways. How we got around, for instance. So allow me to give you a picture of this just so you can really see what I'm talking about here. So in Moremi National Park, our primary mode of transportation was either on foot or via Makoro or dugout canoe. Here I am at 20 years old being pulled by one of our guides through the Delta. Later in my time there, the village chief, Batsalelawang, insisted that he teach me how to pole. Imagine how afraid I was that I would dump this amazing, kind older gentleman into the river. In fact, much of my time in Botswana, I spent a lot of times doing things that made me feel quite uncomfortable, such as here. But that one's a story for another day. So, my last month in the remote village there, 3 of us were studying the village demographics, its impacts on vegetation and mammal populations, and making recommendations to the safari owners about the improvements they could make that would enhance their staff's living conditions. I spent over 3 weeks going hut to hut, interviewing families, asking very personal questions about their families, employment, illnesses, children, and gaining their trust. The work resulted in a well for the village, something I'm really proud of to this day. While I experienced a lot of culture shock and I gained a lot of perspective, I can't say that I experienced true culture change. I was fortunate to return 4 years later on my own to conduct my master's project research focused on community-based tourism models. Botswana and the US have shared a very friendly relationship where most anyone entering the country receives a 90-day visa with few to no questions asked. But when I arrived at the airport, for some reason, the immigration official only gave me 30 days. He waved it off. He said, it's no big deal. You just have to come back after 30 days and ask for more time. I was puzzled, but he seemed set in his actions. Well, any of you who have done field work know that planning to be in town on a specific date and time can be challenging when you are hopping Cessnas as they're available in and out of remote locations. On top of that, when it comes to visas, you can't go back on day 29 too early, but you certainly can't go back on day 31 either. So it takes some real planning. So there I am in the town of Maun in far northern Botswana on day 30. Like a typical American, I storm into the immigration office that morning on a mission to renew my visa. I walk right up to the counter and I start to make my case. I'm here to renew my visa. At the airport, I was only given 30 days, and within moments, I read the room and I can see that this is not going well. They do not seem to be sympathetic to my needs or my timeline. And despite the multiple posters on the wall proclaiming that corruption is bad for the country, they're hinting that they might need a little something to make this all happen. I freeze. In my head, I'm thinking how my research will be sunk if I have to leave early. I didn't have a ticket home for 2 more months. I had so much work to do. There was no way I would graduate the following spring if I had to leave. Months of planning went flashing before my eyes. I knew I was in trouble. And while I had a ton to lose, this wasn't going well. So essentially, I had nothing to lose, all at the same time. So I said, "Excuse me," and I walked outside. So I collect myself on the front porch of the office and I take a few deep breaths, and I know I had to start over. In a minute or so, I calmly walk back into the empty office, which is me and the three staff behind the desk. I pause in the middle of the room so that I could speak to all of them, not just one. All eyes were on me. Dumelang borai boma, lot so hileja, kiso hile simple, lena lomeke Susan, lena lahaho kema, kirata ematata. In the moment outside, I realized I had approached the challenge from my perspective. I had a problem and I needed them to fix it. How could I have forgotten that that's not how things work in Botswana, at least not 25 years ago? I knew better, but I forgot. In Botswana, these exchanges are not transactional. In the weeks I spent going hut to hut in the village, I learned that. You must greet each other. You ask how you woke that morning. How is your family? You might talk about the weather before you get down to business. What I said earlier in Setswana was, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How did you wake?" "I woke well. My name is Susan. What are your names?" And it was only after that I had exhausted all of my Setswana chit chat that I got to the heart of the matter. I have a problem. This exchange, all in their native language, changed the dynamic instantly. First, they were shocked that a pushy American knew Setswana. And it was fun to see the smiles slowly emerge as they thought how crazy I was to just start over. From there, I had to switch to English, but things went much more smoothly. And you will all be relieved to know that I left that day with a 60-day extension to my visa. So what I learned that day was while we can spend months or years learning about new cultures, absorbing and modeling behaviors and patterns that aren't ingrained in us isn't easy. Old habits are hard to break. I was also reminded of the lifelong lessons to consider others' perspectives, norms, and values in our relationships, and to center their perspective over my own. We will all step in it at times. It is what we do in those moments that matters. Do you push through and fight harder, holding fast to your beliefs and approaches? Or do we pause, reflect, and consider others' perspectives and try again, perhaps with a different approach? Amazing to see everybody here this morning. Love the interaction, love the engagement. Like I said, we could have started with like, what is open science? But I really wanted to just challenge us and give us some resources and common vocabularies, right? Like next time you're in a cluster call and things get a little heated, like maybe someone says, "Wait, is it a tiger?" It's not a tiger, right? And you'll all know like, "Oh yeah, it's not a tiger. Look at that." So I am thankful for this great start to the rest of our week. Looking at the calendar in Schedule today, we have a break coming up next. And just to explain, sometimes you'll see a break on the schedule and sometimes you will see a coffee break, right? A break is literally just that, like go take care of the things you need to take care of, go get a bite to eat, and then come back with us. There is not networking during our breaks themselves. Later this afternoon at 3:15, we have a coffee break. That means there is networking time available to you, and that is over in our Wonder Space. A little bit of a different platform for those of you who are newer. You can move yourself around, you can have conversations with folks. So I just wanted to explain the difference between our coffee break and our regular break. Then later today, so we have 7 awesome sessions coming up. And then 2 other things I wanted to feature for everyone. Really excited about our research showcase tomorrow in the evening. We have a fantastic lineup of posters. Again, set up so that you can pop between posters, control your movements, control the space you're in, go and have those great conversations. A number of our poster presenters have made additional time available during the week outside of the research showcase. because it literally is not possible for you to see all 40, I think it's 40 posters in that time period. So you might want to, I encourage you to go over, take a look at what's there and plan out your time, who you want to spend some time with. Either find them in our Wonder networking spaces or look at when they're going to be in their poster room so you can have those conversations. And then lastly, if you're not already in the ESIP Slack space, please join our Slack space. It's a wonderful community. And for this week, the Open Science Cluster is loaning us their channel. And we would love for you to share your door, how you're opening a door maybe your office to your home, maybe it's a favorite vacation place. And we're trying to create a doors of ESIP. So if you wouldn't mind hopping over to the Open Science channel, popping in a photo of your door, we'd love to see that. So with that, give you back 2 minutes of time. We'll head into a break and we'll see you in all of the great sessions this afternoon. And once again, thank you to Rebecca